So, welcome to the Frog Brothers podcast, guys.
Oh,
Thanks.
thank you.
Are
I'm
we
happy
going?
to be here.
Is it going? Are we recording?
We are recording.
Oh my God.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah.
It's like every podcast ever.
Oh,
like
snap.
5 minutes in, the guest goes, "Are we recording?"
Yeah. I'm going to leave that in.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Cool. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
So we had to
Oh,
bring
man,
the,
I didn't even get a warm-up. Usually I have to say like 100 inappropriate things before we get going.
Do you realize
No.
who
That
you're
way
on
it's
the
out of
show
my
with?
system.
You can say whatever you want with us. Like you guys, I would say Yes Have Some is pretty much in that PG-13 to R rating, where we
Yeah.
fall into the R rating to NC-17. So like there's no topics that are
Yeah.
too taboo or anything out of touch with us. So
Yeah,
Be
we can
yourself.
only say fuck once a podcast because after that, then
Yeah.
it becomes R-rated, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Well-
we say fuck like 10 times in a minute. So, you know.
I mean, I love it. Since Ryan started joining us for when we started Toy Anxiety, we started doing the live streams. I think we've only had 2 or 3 times where we've had to have like a post show conversation where I go, "Hey man, we're live. I can't
Yeah.
go back and like take out that one thing where we just went too far."
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we haven't delved into live too much, probably for that same reason. I mean, but you're talking to the same guy that I said blowjob on the radio back in the day when I was on with my band doing like a local band interview. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, but
I
that's not
mean-
so bad. I mean, everyone does those, right? Like everybody.
yeah, I mean, everyone has had the chance to be on the radio, I guess. You know,
Right.
like I still have a cassette tape of that somewhere.
That's cool.
It's proof. It's proof that we've been foul-mouthed and inappropriate since probably the beginning of time.
Which honestly is why I think we're so foul-mouthed and inappropriate, is because it's that phenomenon where we hadn't really seen each other in like 5 years, and you come back and you revert back to how you were.
yeah,
There you go.
it was legit. Like I hadn't seen him for 5 years in person till FanFest last year. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Oh
just-
man, I am so sorry.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird.
We talked like all the time, but yeah, just being in person, man, it was just had stuff going on in our lives that just didn't work out. So here we are now.
I'm glad you dumped her.
Yeah. Yes.
Both of us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we're on YHS we have our 5-year anniversary coming up, and we're gonna be breaking down some of our favorite moments, and we're definitely gonna be talking about FanFest.
Yeah,
It was,
Absolutely.
it
Yeah,
was
that was
something
awesome.
else. There was ups and downs. I can't wait to reminisce. It feels like it was yesterday, but it's almost 2 years ago already.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast that's flown by.
Yeah, it's nuts. That was a super fun time. We just got off with Steve Perry, and he also had this thing where he said fuck, and then he was like, "Wait, can I say fuck?" And then he was like, "We were like, what do you?" He told us he listened to one of our podcasts, and we were like, "Oh my god!" And you still came on?
Yeah.
That's happened to me multiple times where we'll have a guest on, and they say, "Oh, cool, I'll check out your show." And I'm like, "Don't do that."
Yeah, let's not do that yet. Let's just do this interview, and we'll circle back later.
I've been trying to get a Mod Best onto YHS, the actor who played Jar Jar Binks.
Oh,
And
that'd be
it's kinda-
awesome.
And I'm working on it, but it's one of those things where it's like, how do you? I'm sure somebody in his he's been through so much. He went through such a hard time after those movies, and I wonder if he's just super cautious on interacting with fans. And like, even if I'm like, no, we seriously love you, we love the Phantom Menace and love the prequels, he's probably like, raised eyebrow.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
Well, he's kind of the first big star for mocap, for motion capture.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I mean, if let's say Jar Jar Binks became as beloved as that little white troll from Lord of the Rings, I'm pretty sure he would be that guy that they all go to like pretend to be a monkey.
Oh,
Right.
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 You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if he didn't have that stigma of the prequels suck, he would have been probably a much bigger deal. I think elsewhere.
Maybe. So you're
Oh,
saying
for
he
sure.
should have played Snoke. He should have been the Andy Serkis of.
Mhm.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Andy Serkis. I think Ahmed Best should have like run animators out of business.
All right.
See,
Yeah,
we
he
get-
should have been that guy, not Andy Serkis. Because
We-
now animators don't have jobs anymore because of Andy Serkis.
Well, you should still throw the angle at him at like, hey, your Black Series figure's finally out, man. Let's talk about that.
Dude, that figure's great. Well, I don't know why it's $30, but it's great. I
noticed
figure out why it's a deluxe figure, but
I
It's
noticed
the
like
shield and the size, isn't it?
yeah, it's the shield, and he's a little bit taller than the other figures, I think. So,
But so
I
is
guess.
Chewie.
yeah. But everything went up in price this year, though. I even noticed like a lot of the new Marvel stuff, went from being like a $19.99 price point to $24.99 price point. So,
Yeah, everything went up here. Like, first, everything went up in price when COVID kind of hit because our dollar just like freaking dove up in Canada, right? So then things, starting in May, started to go up in price, and then things went up in price again because everything else went up in price down in the States. So everything else then cost more. And now they were saying again, there was another report saying 6-inch figures from Hasbro were going to go up in price again by July.
what's the baseline for what's a Black Series figure now? Is like $22.99? I think that's what it is here.
I think it's still, wasn't it still $19.99?
Yeah. Well, the end of the archive series, the new stuff is $22.99.
yeah, it's
Okay. So
$22.99
maybe they're
to
already up in price.
$24.99 because I saw the Cara Dune, and I think that's Black Series, even though she's got the new bubble card. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, the credit collection.
Yeah. So I think that was $24.99 is when I saw that, and I was like, man, that's still trying to digest that yet. I'm like, all right, there's certain things I'll drop that money on, but I'm not quite there with my Star Wars collection yet.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're going to get one, get Cara Dune.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
She's hot.
Personally, I don't know if I'd be able to spend that much time with her though.
No.
Oh, not in person.
I know.
Parlor exclusive Cara Dune figure.
Yeah, she's gonna start her own version of OnlyFans. Only it's like for parlor people.
Only clans.
There you go. There you go. Perfect.
That's a zinger right there.
Yep.
You need to
Did she
trademark
just
that and
make that
sell
up?
it.
Yeah, that was 100% off the cuff.
Oh, wow. That was amazing.
Yeah,
That was
glorious.
so good.
Not to get too off
Oh.
topic, but the parlor stuff was hilarious today. The way
Oh,
it just
man.
doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
Yeah.
I was like psst, gone.
Just gone.
What
As
is
if
John
millions
Tesh
of-
going to do?
As if millions of conservatives suddenly called out. And,
It's like
Find
if-
out in silence.
It's like if Kevin Sorbo was on Alderaan.
It's like every no-fly video
yes.
has just been like
God.
awoken.
We've
Oh man.
gotten you guys off track. We're so sorry.
That's what we
That's
do.
what we do. We don't
here.
care. We're one of those. We will feel free to get political when we feel necessary because we just have to be able to be free with our words.
For sure.
Do you think?
And,
Do you think Finn ended up being on a no-fly list because he's an ex-stormtrooper?
I mean,
don't know. That's quite a
on the empires, yes. Just because I would see them as, the fascists, that would put them on an no-fly list for sure.
I wonder if the Trump people have like a, how like in the Rise of Skywalker, the Zori Bliss has like that medallion, that first order fast pass.
Yeah.
Like, or what,
Multi-pass.
yeah, right. I wonder if they have one of those that get you on any flight, no matter what.
Yeah. Are you flagged? Doesn't matter. You got one of these.
Ah,
man.
my ex-girlfriend's a spice runner.
No.
So
Yeah.
if you all want to feel old with us, so Alec and I started collecting the Shadows of the Empire stuff like last summer because I was like, oh man, you know what I really miss from like the expanded universe and everything that went to Legacy? I was like, Shadows of the Empire, like how could they do that to me? Like it was like getting kicked while you're laying on the ground.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm just going to start buying all that. That's got to be cheap. That's like a relatively manageable way to get into a Star Wars line because otherwise you're like, where do I start? What's this? What's
Yeah.
that?
Start at the beginning of '96, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the way we went. And we just realized like, hey, it's actually the 25th anniversary this year.
That's
25 years of Shadows of the Empire. So
I should preface this entire conversation by saying that I wasn't a big Star Wars kid. I didn't have any Star Wars figures. Not until like Phantom Menace, I got really caught up in the hype of that. But I don't know what year you guys were born, but like for me being born in 84, I kind of missed the boat. Star Wars was kind of on its way out by the time I existed. So it was all Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles.
Well, and by the time you were even aware that you were a living being,
which was just weeks ago.
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just right. Extreme Ghostbusters hit the air.
Exactly.
You know?
But Shadows of the Empire, so like I don't own any of those figures. And I've never read, I didn't read the book. So basically what I'm telling you is I don't know why you guys had me on, but I'm having a good time so far. But I was a big fan of the game. I loved the game. I had an N64. I don't think I got it on launch. I think it launched in the the spring of 96, but we got it for Christmas that year. And I mean,
It came out for Christmas that year. It didn't actually make it in time for the launch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That was
Interesting.
delayed. Yeah.
But yeah, that game was incredible. And like now I've been since we've been talking about Shadows of the Empire, I'm like, maybe need to get an N64 and play it because that was just badass.
We're probably
that's
going
a
to
good
do
game.
some streaming of that game sometime because I do have an N64 and I do have that game.
Yep,
So I think I'm gonna do
same
that
here.
some point.
Yep, that one in Pod Racer and what was the other one? The
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. They
where
said
you where you could unlock the Naboo starfighter,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
but they didn't tell you the code until after.
the street date for
Yeah.
episode 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you could unlock it.
Oh,
but
that's
they had
cool.
it in the game
It
for
was-
like months before it was announced, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an awesome Easter egg back then. I too was also born in the year of our film, 1984. My
The year of
son-
our film. Love it.
Yeah. You got to get all biblical with it. I mean, I think
Yeah,
people
you
can
do, you
appreciate that. He was born in
Oh,
91.
I was born 4 years before GB, our film, our Lord, our film and Savior.
So
For some reason-
you're BC. He's 4 BC.
I'm 4 BC. Yeah. So it's so I was like a teenager when Shadows came out, and it was kind of fun because it's like I don't know, that era to me of Star Wars is like so ingrained in my memory.
Yeah.
Because before Shadows came out, before like now looking back, you saw exactly kind of what Lucasfilm was doing, but they were coming out with like magazines called like Star Wars Galaxy in like 95. And they started bringing out, like I said, the Power of the Force 2, where everyone came out with their sculpted muscles and
Oh yeah.
the sculpted capes that they were so proud of. Pardon me. And then, and then sure enough, with these magazines, they would kind of like drop these hints of like, they would have a thing called prequel rumors. So they would, and because it's an official Lucasfilm magazine put out by Topps, they would put in these little hints of like, hey, there might be another movie coming, but we don't know for sure. Even though they totally knew for sure.
Yeah.
So them coming out with like all these figures to kind of remind everybody, they brought out all these new like novels, and then getting everyone ramped up for something new, which was Shadows of the Empire, because they had video games, books, comics, toy line, which then led into the special editions, which then led into episode 1.
Mhm.
And like, man, when I realized like it was only a few years ago when I started rereading all this stuff back, like getting all these old magazines and being like looking back and going, man, this is insane. Like I was played like a goddamn fiddle.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
played us hard back then, man.
Yeah, like it's just like they set us all up for the hype, and the build up to it as well was just.
I mean, if
like,
you go
can't-
back and read some of the old rumors for like the Phantom Menace, like I was huge. Like 8th, 9th grade, I discovered Ain't It Cool News. So they'd have their guys like their set report. Like most of it was just bullshit. Like most of it
for sure.
But like the room, like Natalie Portman's definitely gonna get naked in the Phantom Menace. Like that was a big rumor in 1998. Like,
But wasn't she like 14?
yeah, and well, Star Wars fans are, they can be a little. Imagine being a hardcore Star Wars fan, like a 45-year-old dude, in like 1998. Like, they bought into
I'm
it.
almost there in 2024. So,
But I mean, back to Shadows of the Empire real quick. Like that game had such a profound impact on me as somebody who, like, even when the special editions came out, like I was into it, but like that game was my, that was kind of a reintroduction into Star Wars for me, because like when I was a kid, like my older cousins obviously were into Star Wars, but like when you're really young, when you're like 2 or 3 and you've got like groups of older cousins that are like 7, 8, 9, and they're watching Return of the Jedi, like it all looks scary to me. So I kind of had a like, an aversion to it. I don't think I was as into Star Wars, but like once mid-90s hit, like, and again, I didn't collect the figures, but as far as the Shadows of the Empire line, what is the timeline? So you have the Power of the Force, the first series, and then Shadows of the Empire?
Then Shadows, and then you get to sit. Then yeah, so it all kind of does kind of blur into one. But first you get those red cards that came out, and there was like 3 waves of that, which then goes into Shadows, and then it's like Power of the Force 2 again, but it would come with like slides or coins.
Right,
they'd be on the
like
green
a deluxe
card.
figure.
Yeah,
Right.
that's when they switched to the green card. Yeah. So, Ryan,
But the
what do you
line's not
have?
very big.
No, it's
Okay.
not. So, what all do you have from the Shadows of the Empire line, Ryan?
So I did Dengar. I have him. I have Shiva, Shizor, and Bosch was the first one that I was able to get. That was a big deal when she came out because
That was the first Bosch Leia, right?
that was the first Bosch Leia, not ever, but I mean, like, for that line.
Yeah.
And she came with Han and Carbonite. I mean, it was all a big deal.
Yeah, we've got quite the collection going. So, I've obviously acquired one of these guys recently.
Oh,
The
cool.
two-pack.
Nice, the 2-packs.
Yeah, now this one's in okay shape. Some of the blisters on this line, man, they're just like, some of them are just completely yellowed out, and some of them are in great shape, depending on how, previous owner kept them.
Yeah. I also have I opened my Boba Fett and IG-88 pack because it was in such bad condition. I was like, I'll just buy another because they're like $20. But
Got one of these
Oh.
recently,
Nice.
and I actually got 2 of these, but I kept the one for myself with the Toys R Us price tag.
Sweet. A little bit
I was
of
looking at those.
American history.
Now,
Yeah.
what's the deal on the Outrider? That's what it's called, right?
well,
The
yeah.
Outrider?
Yep.
So when you look at eBay prices, $55, $60, $75, it feels like the kind of thing if you find it at a local shop for $20 and like people maybe just overhype them on eBay.
If they're new in box, yeah, you're going to see. I think they're usually going for around 60, plus or minus free shipping or not, So
Right.
now the
It's
Slave
cool.
One,
It's a unique vehicle. I like it.
yeah, basically, like when we talked to Steve Perry, he basically broke down what we already knew about. Dash Rendar was basically supposed to be kind of like the Han Solo little brother that kind of had to fill in that role of gunslinger. So
Right.
I figured I was going to open this up anyway, so I figured I would do this right now, and we could talk about it if you want. Well,
Yeah, for sure.
go ahead and make your point. Yeah, well, I'm going to open this up while you do.
Well, I was just wondering, like, so when I'm reading about Shadows of the Empire and I'm reading about like this multimedia event, it's kind of similar to what they're doing right now with the new, like the High Republic stuff, where they're kind of making it a multifaceted thing. There's going to be books, there's going to be comics, but I wonder if there was ever discussion of doing like a movie set in that timeline, or if they were so focused on developing episode 1 that it didn't happen.
The big piece with this was like Lucasfilm wanted to do everything besides the movie just to see how the marketplace would react. And
Right.
so that's the whole process behind this. So like when we had Steve on, he basically elaborated, like on the process of sitting down with everyone. Look at those stickers.
The nightmare, the decal nightmare of 90s toys.
That is horrific to look at, but
We should probably actually make a scan of that. That way we can
These.
resell them by a printer later on because,
There you
those
go.
are going to be stale.
this is what I'm here for. These. I love
man.
these.
Yes.
Those are like the little things, man. Like
Oh, yeah, we're going to be flipping through
those
this.
were like a child's version of Playboy.
Oh my God.
You're just like flipping through it all the time. You're like, I don't care if I've seen this a million times. I'm going to go
Yep.
back and look again.
It's like I wish I could subscribe to the Kenner catalog.
Exactly.
I wonder so 96, what's going on in that catalog? And I'm trying to think of 96 besides Star Wars, what would have
Let's see.
Well, it
Action
would've been
Man,
Batman.
Nerf,
Okay.
Dragonheart, Star Wars, Batman Total Justice, Legends of Batman, Gargoyles, Batman Crime Squad,
a lot of
It's
Batman.
animated
The
series.
Adventures of Batman, G.I. Joe Extreme, Tonka, Beast Wars, Transformers, Superman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
so
they
the
were
Superman
making
Man of Steel line, that sounds right. And then there's 2 different waves of Batman animated series. The Legends of Batman is the one that's based off the comic book line, and the Total Justice line is the Justice League.
I see those Legends of Batman figures all the time.
You should buy them. They're great.
All right. If you say so.
Yeah.
They're fan. That's where you get like Ninja Batman and like Egyptian Pharaoh Batman and
Does that have the silver Batmobile?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So as he goes through that, I got quite a bit of the collection here since it's pretty small line. Like here's Chewie in his disguise.
Yeah, that's a cool costume. I really wish someone that does like Rebel Legion or goes to like Celebration and stuff like that. I want to see a Wookiee that looks like that.
Yeah,
with
that'd
the
be awesome.
eyepiece and the crew cut.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's got new toy smell.
Smell
I
that,
love that.
baby. Ooh.
Hey, I'll
It's
tell
just
you what I like is the card art on these
Mm.
figures is really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the hologram they have on them, man. Like that's so 90s, but it's so perfect.
Yeah. Holograms need to make a comeback anyways.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Right? If you're going to make a Visionaries movie, then you better have some bloody holograms.
I like the purple and red. Like the
yeah.
packaging really pops. And like when you go to a vintage toy store and they've got a bunch of 90s Star Wars, the Shadows of the Empire stuff just stands out.
Oh, it's so
well.
easy to find
Yeah.
when you're looking for it too, because like you're like, okay, there's green, there's orange, or you're like purple. There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Yep. Too bad they only made 6 figures.
Yeah, I know. Here's Dash Rendar. So speaking of, I'm going to do a cosplay Dash Rendar. That's kind of something I've been toying around with, which is one of the reasons I was like, I want to do a Star Wars cosplay, but not something that's been done a million times.
Right.
Right. He's the way to go. Plus,
Yeah.
he is pretty beloved. I'm waiting for Dash to show up in Mando.
Oh,
Or the
yeah.
Book
We've
of
been
Fett.
talking about that
Oh,
for
yeah.
a while. Like, I'm like, his ship's already been set as canon. Like, he's got everything you need that you can't
You
get
know,
because you don't have Han Solo available. So,
before we had a name for Timothy Oliphant, I was like, ooh, that could be Dash Rendar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I
Um,
wonder, like they it seems like they're leaning into bringing back some of the Legends canon, piece by piece. So
yeah, they're taking the best of the best, I feel like, right? They're like not necessarily using the story arcs, but they're taking the character that you know and love and like adapting
Right.
it, which I'm perfectly content with.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's the
she's
smartest way to
canon
do it.
now too. So I mean,
Yep.
I'm gonna open him up real quick as well because I already have this one, and this one's in really bad condition. I got him for $1.99 at Vintage Stock because they didn't have a price tag on it, and they're like, I don't know, $1.99.
So Vintage
I love
Stocks is a Midwest chain of used and new toys and collectibles and stuff. So they have vinyl, they have movies, so they have a really great mix of stuff there. So costs a little bit more there, obviously, but if you can go get what you want, like Alec just
Right.
got the Green Ranger there, and I haven't seen the Green Ranger pop up in any stores yet.
Oh,
And he
cool.
went there and walked and bought it right off the shelf.
The one the Tommy one with the headband.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a cool figure.
And even looking back at these, like, just the sculpt on his face is really good. I know you're not going to be able to tell or anything, but like the Seizure figure is pretty good for the time and everything. It's
him and his
Holds up.
inappropriate powers.
exactly.
Oh yeah, his
The
powers of
stuff Steve
seduction.
Perry was telling us about that too. Like,
Yeah, man, that was pretty hilarious.
they actually tried to get him to write Seizure and Leia having sex into the book.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know how I feel about that.
They
Like, I'm all
wanted it
down
to
for,
be a
like,
successful seduction.
Yeah, and he said no. He's like, I didn't want to get any hate mail, and I didn't want people to find me and destroy me. It's like, yeah,
Poor Leia.
Yeah. I
They
don't know how I
wanted them
feel
so
about
much.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like we all know like after A New Hope, she totally like at least gave Luke a hand job.
That's
hey,
enough.
thanks for saving the galaxy, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, for all
totally.
we know, like, listen, the one thing nobody ever talks about is like that's a completely different galaxy, and we don't know the rules there.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, like, maybe brother sister hand jobs are just part of the deal. Like that. That's what,
I mean, it's just like it's the Arkansas galaxy, I guess. It's
only
fine.
way that would
Right. A long time ago in Mississippi.
far, far away.
Far away.
Marty McFly might know something about his mother giving him a hand job.
Oh yeah, there's a therapy group out there for those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have went for it if you think about it. Anyway,
That's actually if you're doing toy photography this year, Troy or Craig, sorry.
did you call me Troy?
Yeah, I did. Oh, that was a rip.
That's amazing. Everybody,
Fucking guy.
I love. By the way, Troy's the best. Can we just
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about that for a second?
Yeah, we
Troy's the
can.
best.
Droids are awesome.
Oh yeah, man. I remember talking to Troy back in the day on like AOL Instant Messenger and being like, "Hey,
Yeah.
man," and he's just a couple years older than us, so I'd be like, hey, "What do you think about Extreme Ghostbusters?" And like he'd entertain me and my nerdiness as a kid, like bother him on the internet. So it's pretty.
I
awesome.
probably did the same thing. I mean, I remember. Again, we're getting off topic, but Ghostbusters HQ. Like, I always tell the story. Like, we got AOL in '97, and the first thing I did as soon as it was connected was search for Ghostbusters 3, anything. So I found GBHQ and proton charging pretty early on. So it's kind of cool full circle that that those guys are still doing it. And I would say that the Crossrope came back today. The new episode, I already listened to it. It was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they dropped today. Fine. It was good to have him back, man. Kind of missed him in the feed there.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah. No, we had Troy on for our Midnight Mando shows that we did.
Yep.
All winter long, and it was great. It was a good.
I live right by Chris Stewart, so I see him all the time.
I will say this: Star Wars has been so top of mind because it was such a weird year in 2020. But I mean, Star Wars was incredible this year.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I've leaned so hard into my Star Wars fandom, and not that I wasn't already. Like, but I just have such an appreciation for what they're doing right now.
Oh, for sure. Same. That was one of the things we we had to ask Steve about. Was like, what do you think of Mandalorian? And he was like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. And we were like,
what does he do now? What is he still writing?
He still does writing.
Yeah, he's still writing.
He's actually, don't know if you know this or not, but he did also write 3 episodes of Real Ghostbusters and an episode of Extreme Ghostbusters. He was Emmy nomination for Batman the Animated Series. He's done lots of cool stuff. So.
Yeah, he wrote for Gargoyles, the series as well. So,
wow, very cool.
We talked to him a little bit about all that stuff too. So that was fun. Cool to talk to him.
Remember that time when Batman was like punching a guy? That would have been me the whole time.
Right.
I live for Batman animated series.
It's great.
It saved my life.
Some of that.
But yeah,
we enjoy it.
Will you guys tell me about this the Slave One in Shadows of the Empire line? Is it a re-release? Is it a repaint? Because I love the box art.
It's the same. Box? Yeah, it's the same one, right? So there's also a re-release in the green Power of the Force line. Obviously, you can get some of those a little bit cheaper if you're looking for the Shadows of the Empire line specifically. Like I got eBay sniped the other day, and Alec was.
I was telling you, you're gonna get sniped. You're not gonna get that. Your max bid's not high enough,
and I'm like, man, I think I got a chance, and like
10 seconds,
1 second left, and I was like,
ah. That's the worst feeling that a human being can go through.
Oh, it was traumatic, man. And then he's just like, "You idiot, you didn't do it right." And I'm like, "I know."
I was
punishing me. I'm sorry.
Because I went and knocked on his bedroom door. I was like, "Is this the same Slave One you're bidding on?" He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "God damn it!" Because I was about to go like,
yeah, he's about to go try to snipe it from me. So at least
that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so funny. My brother and myself are very close, but our interests aren't always aligned. So I couldn't imagine like him and I bidding on the same toys. Like, it would never happen. But what was the first release of that specific Slave One? The Power of the Force one?
Or is it? No, it's the Shadows of the Empire was the first re-release of that, and it was the old vintage Kenner mold that they used.
Oh, really?
And it's just a repaint because I just read up about it. Okay. I just read a whole article about it.
Yeah, a lot of those original Power of the Force lines were complete re-releases. Like the Millennium Falcon was the same way. I think they just distinguished them with some new stickers.
Yep, that's it. That's all it was.
Like if you have the vintage Millennium Falcon, because I have some older cousins that had a bunch of Star Wars stuff, and much like you, Craig, like, you'd watch it, you're like, I'm not really getting into this because I was just young for it, but they had all the toys. And
older cousins kind of rule though, because like that's the first time I saw Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I remember being 4 years old, like, seeing, Freddy Krueger and just like losing my shit. Like, I can't believe this is happening.
Justin was traumatized.
Yeah, that's like my serious childhood trauma right there. Well, one of them was like seeing Nightmare on Elm Street when I was like 2 or 3 probably, and like just like watching it. And then after that, my dad would torment me with it. He'd be like, Freddy's coming to get you. And you're like, oh my God, I can't sleep. So I'm glad I'm not the only one with that trauma in life.
Yeah. I mean, that, and like I remember watching like Friday the 13th movies and like we said, Star Wars, and also like Masters of the Universe. Like, and I remember being scared again of Skeletor and Jabba the Hutt and Ewoks. Like, when you're like 3, it all kind of runs together. Like,
well, even like Yoda on Dagobah is just kind of like, oh, this is gross. Like, what's wrong with you? And then then you see like Luke like trying to kill himself essentially as a kid, and you're like, what the hell is this? This is like existential suicide. I don't even know what this is. I'm not ready for this.
I was terrified of David Bowie in The Labyrinth as a child.
Oh yeah,
for sure. I was gonna say like Labyrinth was like a really creepy movie.
Yeah,
like you watch it now. I remember being
creeped out by that, and Dark Crystal when they start taking the essence away out of those little like, what are they called? Like gelflings or something?
Yep.
And they start like turning into zombies. Their eyes turn like white, and Oh God.
Again, like I didn't know the difference between. I thought Leprechaun and Willow were the same movie. Like maybe I was just dumb. Now that I'm thinking about it, like maybe I was just a dumb kid.
No,
I mean, yeah, I
that
think you
definitely
were just
happens
a
when
kid,
you're a
but-
kid. I had movies I confused.
I mean, I still have I haven't watched Willow probably since I was a kid, and I just remember there's like some really like kind of crazy moments like near the end that are like kind of graphic, at least from my childhood eyes, and I'll probably watch it now and laugh. But like when they announced the Willow series, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm really into that, and I'm like, well, wait a second, maybe I need to revisit that before I have an opinion.
There was and Ryan, you can maybe help me with this. I had 3 G.I. Joe VHS tapes with the animated series. There was a scene, Ryan's not even listening. There was a scene where I don't know if it was Serpentor or Cobra Commander where the mask comes off and there's like all these snakes.
Oh, that was Cobra Commander.
But you want to talk about like I was deathly afraid of G.I. Joe from that point on, and I would want to watch my G.I. Joe tapes, but I couldn't remember which tape had that scary scene. So
so you couldn't put any of them on.
I wasn't
yeah, you've been ruined. You're like, no, I'm not dealing with
this.
any of that right now. No, thanks.
But so I'm really interested in collecting the Shadows of the Empire line, and I like those 2 packs. I think the IG-11 and Boba Fett. Like I think it's gonna be the first one I buy. How do you guys? Because I'm not that familiar with like your collecting habits. Are you? I don't necessarily have room for loose or in package figures right now. We call it on Toy Anxiety. We call it space danger.
Yes.
So how is your guys' space danger? Like when you're considering collecting a new line like that, what goes into that? Like, are you considering?
I'm future proofing things right now. So I've got 2 little kids, 2 boys, young boys.
Right.
So, like, we found out the hard way because when I got those Marty McFly with the hoverboards, the reaction figures.
Okay. Yeah.
The exclusive one with the hoverboard card. And
oh, yep.
Yeah, and he left one laying out,
but it means
laying out in my house where the kids could reach it. And one of my youngest tried to open the package, so I had to trade him for it. So I'm like, I still don't want to open that card, but I'm like, okay, so I can't have anything carded to like display. So I mean, they've got plenty of stuff. So right now I'm like really guarded about displaying anything. So unfortunately most of it's packaged up right now, but if I get some DTOVs and stuff like that, I'll be in a good spot. So right now mostly stuff on the bookshelves where they're not really messing with books or anything like that.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep them in package though?
The Shadows of the Empire line, I think right now, once I get everything in package, I'll keep it that way. But you can buy loose open lots really cheap of the Shadows line. So I'll probably get a second set just to have around and the kids can play with them that way
I
too.
bought like a lot of all my figures on eBay, and it was like $50 for all of the figures and the swoop bike and something else too. I don't remember what, but it was pretty good. Yeah.
Although I say
Oh yeah, sorry. Because I was like even thinking myself, like I remember telling this to Craig, I think last week, where I wanted to get that first wave of Power of the Force, get them again, have them in package.
Mm-hmm.
That ugly ass Leia and
oh god, yeah,
ripped as fuck Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, it's like
oh man, I love steroid Luke.
Yeah,
man, he's awesome. Because like it was always kind of like a big bummer to me, like when I was like, because you gotta remember, it's like I'm a teenager. I'm a little horny about everything at that point. You know,
Ryan, you're the horniest human being I've ever met. Ryan will call me like, dude, I'm going to a Toys R Us. I got a boner about it. I'm like,
dude, I got a big raging boner.
Don't walk into Toys R Us like that.
I gotta get rid of this thing at Toys R Us because apparently there's gonna be kids in this fucking store.
Tuck it up in your waistband.
Yeah. No way.
Oh my god. Well, by the way, Abby and I were just watching Superbad before I came in here to do this. Ryan, you could be a character in that movie. You fitted. You were like the fourth member of their group.
My whole dream is to have a Power Rangers movie that is like super bad but Power Rangers.
Yep. We've talked about that.
Yeah, that is like my dream. I would love to have.
Oh god, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Superbad, so you know, growing up, I had a real Ghostbusters lunchbox, the red one though. So
you didn't have the blue one.
Yeah, so guess what I bought on eBay? I was like, I bought one of those, and I'm thinking about taking it to cons so people can like replicate the dick drawings and give those to me to fill the lunchbox with.
That would be the coolest thing ever.
But like, if you see me, I'll give you a sticker for a dick drawing. You know, like
just draw a dick. I'll put it in my lunch.
Yeah,
that is amazing. You start.
No, you're going to a con. I would go pay like some big name artist to draw you.
Oh,
some dicks.
yes,
Oh, that'd
exactly.
be great.
Dude,
There's a
please,
deal.
you draw me a dick. Like,
What
that
would be
would
cool is you
amazing.
start an Instagram page called Real Ghostbusters Dicks,
Yes.
and every day you just post your
Your
creations. I
random
love
dick
that.
pictures of that. Yeah. I was like,
I
yeah,
love
that's
that.
something that should happen because like as a Ghostbusters fan and a crude comedy fan, like that's kind of a double win right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
RGDs, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Because that would be pretty rad. But no,
Real
I'd,
Ghostbusters.
I'd no, because like I was like, because I wanted like, because Luke always looked so buff and awesome, and he looked like that. He looked like the original poster. You know,
Oh
where he's
yeah,
got the
yeah.
sword
Oh,
up and
right.
he's just jacked. And I was like, how come the Leia doesn't look like that? Like that one, where she's got like the leg out, looking all smoking hot.
Yeah.
They
No,
never
they
made that. They still haven't. I'm
Nope,
so
they-
disappointed.
instead they took an American Gladiator figure and repainted her as Leia.
Oh man,
Because
those
that's she's
bow
all
legs?
roided out. Yeah.
Like I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Like
Yeah, it's
That's
terrible.
it's a brutal figure. And it's got, I like I said, like researching on it, like she didn't come out right away. So for the longest time as well. I remember this in like '95 and this trying to find Leia. She's not on the back of the card, and it's like, did they even release a Leia? But they did, but she wasn't in the first run of that first wave. Like they only had a certain amount of room in the boxes for when they were shipping them out. So then later on they kind of replaced her with R2. Like they kind of swapped spots. So that's why
okay.
that's why you couldn't find R2 later on, and then you couldn't find Leia at the beginning.
And that's
That
the power
makes
of the
sense.
Force. That first line.
Yeah, and that is the power of the Force.
So that is the power of the Force. You could be replaced by R2 if you don't fit
You
in the
could-
box.
This
So-
is
That's exactly it.
getting this back. I just feel so much better in life. This Seizure figure, having one open now because I had as a child the Darth Vader Seizure 2-pack.
Okay.
That was the Darth Vader figure I had as a kid. And as a kid, I probably opened the packaging and instantly within 20, 30 seconds lost the lightsaber to him. But then also Seizure went missing. Like I still have a lot of my old Star Wars figures. I still have my old, like his old Dash Rendar and our old like busted up Outrider that's missing the cockpit and
Oh yeah.
shit like that. But that Seizure went missing when I was a kid, and I'm convinced one of my friends stole it. I just don't know which bastard did it.
Hey, if you're
The blame.
listening
Yeah, and you stole this from
and you
Alec.
have that, yeah, man, you better like fess the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because
'cause
we'll
now
find
it's
It's
you.
funny. It's
Yeah,
funny
we're gonna
how
put you on a
kids.
no-fly list. That's what we're gonna do.
It's hilarious how kids play with toys because it's always like that. It's like
Yeah.
no matter what toy line, you just open it and immediately. I'm still like that. Like I open figures now. Like I just opened. I got this the NECA Krang figure. And like immediately within like 5 minutes, I had lost the antenna for the top of his head. I was like, what am I doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say
What
you
am I
gotta get
doing here?
little sandwich bags and label everything, man.
Oh, I do, but like I get so eager to take it. Like
Yeah, to take it out, you're like, oh no, where to go?
so, if you guys, so right next to me actually is my organization drawer. So this is all NECA TNT accessories.
Hmm.
This is a lightning collection.
Nice.
If I could go back, I would actually do it by figure, but I didn't start doing that, and there's no way I can. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess-
to resort that right now, I'd be like, yeah, and if you're attached to your collection, man, it's not a problem.
yeah, it's.
I mean,
yeah,
that's how you
so-
really commit to it. It's like, man, do I really want to go through this bag of stuff or do I want to sell a lot?
Well, here's the thing. I get I like create tasks for myself because the toy room has stayed pretty clean recently, pretty organized the way I like it. But I come in here and I sit here and I go, well, I need something to do. So it's like, well, I'm either just going to reorganize a shelf or do what, like one day I'm going to pour out all these things. I'm going to try to organize it by figure. So, somebody, by the way, this is on topic of Star Wars. A listener today sent me this in the mail. And it's not Shadows of the Empire, but I thought you guys might appreciate it. Whoops.
Yeah, probably warning you if you spoil Shadows of the Empire tonight, you're dead.
We had to actually
What happens?
warning about that earlier. Steve was joking about it. It was funny.
No, this won't spoil anything. This is a Saga Legends Dark Trooper figure.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
That a listener sent me in the mail, and I'm a sucker for anything that comes with a coin. It automatically feels more like collectible to me. And like anything that says collector's edition or limit. I was telling a buddy of mine, we bought this air freshener, this pine scented air freshener, and it says limited edition on it. It's the only reason I bought it. I was like, I'm getting this shit. It might not be available later.
Yeah.
So I get on a Brickseek and Pop Finder for the pine scented.
Yeah, it's limited.
It's limited. They only have 100 cans at this Walmart.
Yeah.
Just for my own reference, when did something like this come out? It's probably like 2005 or something.
Yeah, I would guess.
I want to say could be even 2010.
07. It says 07 on the back.
Oh,
Yeah,
so we
range.
right in the middle. We were close.
So Shadows of the Empire comes out, right? I'm asking you guys as a wandering mind. It comes out, game's out. Did you guys read the book like back then?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't read the
I did.
book. I didn't read the book until. So when they announced The Force Awakens is when I was like, okay, there's a few things I really want to go back and get into, and that was the first book I read. Because I'd read some Star Wars books, just growing up, just whatever I could check out for free from the library or whatever.
Right.
But I read that and I was like, okay, I wonder if they're going to make this, is this going to be canon or not? That was before, they kind of made that announcement of like, hey, this is all going to be legacy. So we're going to kind of start fresh. And I was like, why the hell would something that Luke has sanctioned and put so much time and effort into not be canon?
Right.
Because
it's interesting. Yeah.
It fills a pretty big gap there. And like they spent a lot of time and money on sorting the game with the book, the comics. Like, so you've really got to have all three of these pieces intertwined to get the full story since you don't have a movie.
What's interesting? One of you guys, I think Justin, you mentioned it earlier. Like, it is kind of smart to be able to pick and choose what they want and then reincorporate it, because that way they're not held to any, like, they could announce a Shadows of the Empire TV series and use some of the same characters, but like, do their own thing. Because I think Dash that's like a cool character, and like I think, I think it would work now. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an iconic ship. He's got an iconic look. He kind of fills that role of the Han Solo that you're not going to be able to do. And since you don't have any screen time with him shared with other people, yeah, he can have like a history with them, but you don't have to show it.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways I think they could bring anything like that in, because even in reading some of the stuff and doing research about the Shadows of the Empire stuff, I found out that they kept referring to Dash Rendar as like a Top Gun type character, like Maverick,
Right.
So it's
obviously before Goose died, when he's really cocky, before he's conflicted and all sentimental.
Right. They need. I would like a Dash Black Series figure, maybe like a
for
Hoth
sure.
Dash.
Oh, I want the Luke from that, because they never made a figure of the Luke with that yellow vest.
I've seen customs of it, but they don't look great.
See, this is where I think this is where I really think they're messing up with Black Series, because I think like the Gamer Greats figures are okay. And like they could maybe put out a Dash Rendar Gamer Greats figure or something. But if they announce tomorrow there's going to be a Shadows of the Empire sub-series, Black Series, I think fans would be like insanely like over the moon excited for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that hits on nostalgia factor, right? I mean, that's huge. I mean, so let me ask you guys this. So last year when I started doing some toy collecting and like kind of going through and figuring out like what do I want to do and trying to broaden on some toy lines. Obviously, listening to your show is always an inspiration of like, hey, what's next? And so I started going back and buying some toys that was like the first of. So I got the first Jurassic Park figure I'd ever got. I got a new one of that on card. And then I did that with Star Wars, obviously. So I got the deluxe Han Solo with Smuggler Pack or whatever it is.
Yes!
Yeah. And that was the first one I bought in the 90s. It was like new to me because this was right kind of leading up to the special editions, but a friend of mine, like his older brother was a huge Star Wars nut. Their dad was a Star Wars nut. And they're like, hey, you got to check these out, And so that's when the toys are in. They're like, yeah, and they got toys for him again now too. So we're like, okay, cool. So we went and watched the old CBS black covered. They actually had a beta player. So we watched them on beta,
cool.
not VHS. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Earlier.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say earlier last year is when I started collecting Star Wars again, because I was at Walmart and they had the Jabba the Hutt's little play set from the vintage collection or whatever for like, it was on clearance for $13. And I was like, I'd be stupid not to buy this, so I'm going to.
It's so cool. It comes with the Han and Carbon. I went insane looking for that. It was so hard to find at first.
there were like 6 of
losing
them
my
on
mind.
clearance, and I was like, all right, sure, I'll get one. And then
I considered just taking it from Walmart. It was register locked.
oh, I remember that. I remember
remember
watching
this,
you.
Ryan?
I remember the story and watching this. There was a video of it, wasn't there?
I think
at least
so.
you
And I
told
remember
me.
just being like, I want to go give a Walmart employee like $100 and be like, here, this is for you. I'm going to be taking this $20
Yeah.
thing. I'm not stealing it, but I need it. But yeah, I mean, I like that idea though of going back and like getting the stuff that was most sentimental to you like as a kid. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can respect that. Was that the LP?
Yeah, that's the LP that released last year.
Whoa.
So that's the original CD.
Yeah.
Would you grab the CD off the shelf?
Where is it?
Wait,
Yeah.
whoa, back it up. They put out a vinyl?
Yeah, just last year they just released the score on vinyl.
Where do you
maybe I
get
don't have it
that?
on the shelf now? I just got this on Target.com for $20.
Yeah. I have a copy of all this stuff as well. It's just at my house. I don't have the vinyl though.
Yeah,
Dude,
this
how
is-
great is this soundtrack though?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good, man. I can just throw that on the car and listen to it. But I'm a nerd
It
like
is-
that, man.
It
Like
is
in the
such
car.
a precursor to Duel of Fates.
Oh yes. There's some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Some of that stuff I was listening back just for some of the editing stuff I was going through and trying to get some snippets of the old N64 game sounds, and like I was just like, man, the way they worked in some of the old themes with the new music in here is pretty awesome. Like,
Yeah.
it's still
No,
like,
it was great.
crazy.
And the fact that it was a big deal. I remember finding that, not knowing they released a soundtrack. This was when I was on a band trip in '96.
Nerd.
And I saw it and I had to get it. I didn't even know, like, it was just, there's a soundtrack to a book. Like, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was unheard of. Like they were really just testing the waters to see what they could get away with, and
They
it's
got
kinda
away
makes
with
you-
everything.
Pretty much, it's like, yeah, now just animate this as a series, right?
Oh man, if they did an animated movie of this would be great.
I was also
awesome.
in band, by the way. Hey, I just bought the vinyl. Well, you guys were
Oh,
$20 in Target, free shipping, right?
Yep. I just bought it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, we got a record player. Like I got a new record player literally today. Our old one was busted, and I wanted to get something new. And I do like collecting vinyl here and there, but more than anything, I like soundtracks and like special edition releases.
Yeah.
of,
I actually have
of
the like
records.
at least one of the 80s releases of the Star Wars original soundtrack on vinyl.
Oh, the
I've got the
original.
really weird ET storybook with Michael Jackson on it for some reason.
Nice.
Super out there.
Yeah, I have lots of soundtracks. I got a bunch of vintage ones, of course. Back to the Future, Goonies, all that fun stuff. Ghostbusters, of course.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
soundtracks are where it's at. Like I've
Yeah.
got new and used copies of quite a few things. Back to the Future, obviously all the Ghostbusters, but that Ghostbusters 2 score needs to hurry up and drop, man.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. I know that
Randy
It's
Edelman.
retconned.
Yeah. Randy Edelman announced it on his website, so it's supposed to drop sometime this year. So we'll see how soon that happens.
I mean, I've been waiting for the Ghostbusters 2 score since, forever. Like, because we only have the
1989.
snippets. Yeah, since 1989. But I'm excited about the Shadows of the Empire. I mean, the artwork is awesome.
Yeah, the
no,
artwork.
It's
artwork on
great.
here is totally. That's the beautiful thing about this is like they still went all traditional drawing,
Yep.
and
Look, show them the back too. You know, you
Yeah,
got
like,
Leia and
once you
Boba
get
Fett
to
and
the,
stuff. It's great
Oh,
artwork.
that's fantastic. That is
yeah, and
fantastic.
you lost that when you started getting to the prequels and especially the new ones where it's like all just kind of like Photoshoppy mess, like trying to emulate what they did, but it's just easier and faster.
Yeah.
And
But
like
some of
there's
those old
nothing.
novels from the '90s had like these beautiful covers
Yeah.
that could be
Yep.
posters.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
like I remember like the Courtship of Princess Leia novel. Like it had, Leia and Han, like a Rancor in the corner, and it just looked like all those old covers looked so good.
Yo, you
Yeah.
could easily make a coffee table art book out of just the book covers from the 90s.
Oh, that's a good.
Oh, I'm sure
that'd be
Lucasfilm is
amazing.
listening, so they're gonna make it now that.
Oh,
we're-
they'll know
definitely.
now. Yeah. I mean, Amazon, everyone knows what we're talking about and listening. They're all listening. Facebook's listening.
make it
They'll-
happen.
They'll do something for it and not give us credit, but that's fine because they know we'll buy it.
If they ever decide to go back and just redo the posters for the sequels, I'll forgive them.
Tell you what, Disney, we'll give you another shot at that.
Yeah, we'll let you try again.
Just make new posters and we're fine.
Am I about
Yeah.
to buy Shadows of the Empire on N64 now? I don't even have
Yeah.
an N64.
They
but I
actually-
want
Would
it.
you grab the copy of N64 down there? It's on the bottom shelf.
I was gonna say there is actually a company that a few years ago released a version of the game that is a purple clear cartridge that comes on a card backing like this.
Oh yeah,
I was
and
just looking at that. That's very cool.
That's
cool
a legit
looking.
company. I think they also did the Kevin Smith Mall Bash game. They did the Switch hard copy release of that. They specialize in special game releases
Like
like
a
that.
special release thing.
Mhm.
To me, so I'm not the biggest gamer in the world, but I mean, I always had systems growing up. The N64 packaging I'm so nostalgic for it. That rectangle cardboard box.
Oh yeah, like this
Shaz
one's
the
got
Empire.
like this particular case is like the rental style case.
Oh, cool.
It's got the instruction booklet in it, but when I went to buy it, and actually this may have been a rental based on that sleeve that's in there because, oh yeah, it's gorgeous to have all this stuff in these cases like that. Like that feels
Shaz
like
the
taking
Empire, Killer Instinct Gold.
Oh yeah, GoldenEye.
WCW, NWO Revenge, GoldenEye, all that stuff.
No Mercy.
No
Gotta have some of
Mercy.
that.
My friend had the Toys R Us exclusive gold controller for N64. And we go play GoldenEye at his house, man. And like, you want to talk about like the envy of the N64 world. He's
Right.
like, I've got the gold controller. And you're like, we bow down to you. Sir. You're better than us.
Did anyone else just make their palms raw from playing?
Oh, yeah.
Not with
you
yourself,
destroyed him.
but with
but
playing like Mario Party.
Yeah.
Like you had the games, you had to right, and you're going crazy and
All that
you're like,
stuff.
fuck.
That
Dude,
happened to me
I
with
miss it.
like the PS2 stuff too. Like I ended up like wearing out all of the leather to the point where the leather was rubbing off, not the leather, or the rubber or whatever on the old PS2 DualShock ones.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
this
they
has been
changed
fun.
how we play video games, so we're not doing that anymore.
They changed
Yeah.
now you just can't get them.
Right.
There was a sign at Target today that said, due to safety concerns, we will no longer be issued. Like there was something about PS5 safety concerns. Like people were like fighting and all sorts of crazy.
Oh, God.
Our stress was we got it done interviewing with Steve, and we were like, all right, you know what? Earlier I was on the Walmart website, and the Ghost Popper shows in stock at Blue
two different-
Springs.
yeah,
and
two different stores
Independence
by us.
Walmart. Yeah. So let's go check those out. I went and checked the other one out earlier and couldn't get any help from the employees, and there were none out or anything.
Yeah.
So we got over to Independence. And of course, there's none out or anywhere. And this is actually kind of thought of as I'll just say a lower income area. So the Walmart's very trashy. There's no other way to say it. Like it's just
well,
a
the
mess.
Independence
It
one,
looks
yeah.
like,
So it's kind of like
it looks like the end of the world, even though it's not in that Walmart hallways.
Okay.
So we're looking, we can't find it. We ask an employee. We're like, here's the little barcode. And when they scan it, all they can say is, oh yeah, we have 2 of those in stock. We just put them out. I couldn't tell you where they are. They'll be in the toys. Have you looked in the gun section? And I'm just like,
Yeah, like, yes, that's what we just checked. We said we didn't see them on shelf. Can you check the back? Everything we got in toys, we don't keep any toys in the back. Everything that's toys is on the shelf is what they told us by more than one employee. And I'm like,
yeah.
That's fine. So then, like, I'm sure whoever's working like loss prevention's like, what the hell are these guys doing? Because we're like walking through the shelves like Hasbro box,
right.
not the right label. Hasbro,
Right.
Hasbro, not label. Okay.
I mean, I got denied yesterday. I was at Walmart trying to open up a case of the archive figures I found. And she's like, sir. I'm like, what? She's like, we cannot sell those till next week. And in my head, I'm like, actually, you're wrong because these aren't even street dated. Like you turn it
Yeah,
into
exactly. You're like, toys.
Oh my
snob.
God.
I know more than you do.
Yep.
Well, actually, your inventory is off by weeks. I want the Ghost Popper really bad. I'm trying to. Okay, let me ask you guys this. I am trying to have a new approach to toy buying this year. I got so stressed last year with the Kenner Classics, where I was like, I'm not gonna get them. They're gonna be sold out, and everybody. And now I don't know how your guys' WalMarts are, but they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
I
you
saw
can-
one that like had like 4 pegs full and 2 boxes sitting
Yeah.
on the shelf full, and I was like,
So, as excited as I am about the Ghost Popper, and the reason I'm mostly excited about it is because since it's a re-release with the new color scheme, so to me, it's a new entry into the Kenner vintage toy line. Like this is a brand new thing. And it does seem like the Walmart's only maybe getting 2 or 3 of them. I'm trying to take a deep breath and say, you're going to find it. You don't need to have too much anxiety. Even though we host a show called Toy Anxiety.
I was about to say, my heart's beating fast. That's
I know.
right
we
now.
start talking about it. You're like, like your Apple
because I
Watch is
checked
like
today,
breathe.
it said like limited stock at a couple stores, and I did go to 2 Walmarts today. That it said they had them, but they didn't.
Well, you need
So-
them. They're limited.
They're
Yeah,
limited edition.
they're sitting in a box in the back somewhere. And
listen, we're all
calling to me.
we're all hardcore Ghostbusters fans, and we know that there's going to be a lot of Ghostbusters toy hunting this year. I mean, it's going to be. Actually, let me. It's over there. I got that new Stay Puft over there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's kind of goofy looking. I mean, I kind of like it. Though. It's kind of weird, but
yeah, I showed my kids. I was like,
different.
"Hey, do you guys like this?" And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do you want it?" Yeah. So they got it and opened it and they messed around with it, but I don't know if the $5 price increase over the other toys, like the Darth Vader or Iron Man or whatever I've seen from that same Mighty's collection, is like.
Yeah. Or the Black Ranger. I think it was the Black Ranger one. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Black Ranger actually.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a good year of buying toys, and I think that I'm trying to keep that balance because it's so. As much as I love modern toys, to me, there's nothing better than going to a vintage toy shop or a toy show.
For sure.
Buying the old stuff.
Yeah.
So
I do look forward to those Power Ranger. I still don't know if I'm going to get them just because they're kind of goofy looking. And even though the originals were very goofy looking as well, but the head flippers, you know?
Oh, the
yeah.
I completely
the
forgot
Hasbro
they're doing
Automorphin Rangers. Yeah.
I know. I've thought about it recently, and I'm like, I should start checking Walmarts for those. I don't know when those are supposed to come out, but
I don't know what I'm doing with Power Rangers. Like, there's part of me that just wants to be done with Lightning Collection because I've got all the original Rangers, I've got Rita, I've got Zed, Zordon,
yeah,
Alpha.
All I'm going with is the original for sure.
They need a Bulk and Skull figure.
They also, they need a Bulk and Skull and an Ivan Ooze.
Oh, if they do the movie figures, I'll be right back.
They need the youth center too.
And they do.
Yeah, may as well.
Yeah, the juice bar.
The juice bar.
That guy who runs it.
I think that would be great because you could just have the counter and just have the little dance floor area where they can do like hip hop, martial arts, and it would be freaking rad.
I'll tell you what, we've got. Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, I think the thing that really stresses you out though the most is content creators. Like you want to have the new stuff just to have it in your hands and show people that it's coming. And like when you got to go toy hunt for it, it just makes it worse because you're like, well, what if someone beats me to it? Like, what do we do now? Like we want to share the love on it, but
it's top of mind for sure. I mean, there is that sense like, the ghost, we talk about this all the time. The Ghostbusters community is small compared to something like Star Wars. Like there's not a lot of, and even Yes Have Some's not, I don't even know how to describe what we do. It's very Ghostbusters centric. I think everything we do is through the lens of Ghostbusters, but we cover a lot more ground than just Ghostbusters. But there's not really, when you think about Star Wars, you've got, just Star Wars action figures. There's 20 legit outlets.
Oh, for sure.
Star Wars media, you've got podcasts, you have YouTube channels with literally Star Wars Theory has almost 3 million subscribers.
Yeah, what's funny. I emailed him and was like, hey, you want to come talk Shadows of the Empire with us? And it's funny that he didn't email me back, but Steve Perry did. The guy who wrote it and was like, sure, I'll come on.
Right. And it's interesting. And like one thing I've learned over the years is give people the benefit of the doubt. Because like I consider YHS small potatoes and I get hit up every morning. I wake up and I've got 10 to 15 messages from different sources and I try to get back to everybody. Sometimes it's, podcast requests. People ask questions that I don't know anything more about toys than other people. I just act like I do.
Yeah.
I put on a show, but getting back to what I was saying,
I know more
Ryan
than
knows so much more.
Yeah, that's probably accurate though, Ryan. I don't think we're going to dispute that.
Ryan knows a lot about toys. And he's also a very nice person, but also an asshole. So it's like, it's really interesting talking to him.
Yeah. It's he's not wrong. He's absolutely not wrong.
One of my favorite moments of this year was after the Mandalorian, the episode 8. I won't spoil it if anybody didn't see it for some reason, but I watched it at 3 a.m. East Coast and then called Ryan afterwards. So it's 4:30 in the morning on a school night, and I'm like, dude, and Ryan's like crying, and I'm like,
Oh, I was a mess. I'm like, he's trying to talk, and I'm like,
hyperventilating.
Yeah. Oh man, I was a hot mess after that episode 8, but in like the best way.
Best possible way. It was such a good release.
Yeah, but I was so emotionally overwhelmed with happiness, and that's such a great feeling to have.
But yeah, so getting back to what I was saying, like, when you've got that much in the fandom, content. And then there's a bunch of other Star Wars YouTube channels that have 50,000 subscribers, 80,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
Half of these people are just making stuff. Have you seen the guy who every day posts a video about Ray Kenobi and gets like 100,000 views? It's like, what is it? He's like,
where are you
they are
getting that?
currently doing a 4-hour version of Rise of Skywalker. I'm like, no, they're not. They aren't doing that. Nobody's putting out a 4-hour version of Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
But the thing about Ghostbusters, I mean, there's Ghostbusters News, which is probably the biggest, and maybe he has 25, 30,000 YouTube subscribers, whatever. And that's the biggest. That's it. So it's the one thing I would say about Ghostbusters, though, it has such a broad appeal to the everyday. That's what it really has in common with Star Wars, is that the tight-knit hardcore fan community is it's more of a limited scope. But when a new Ghostbusters movie comes out, everybody loves Ghostbusters. Like you're hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't like the movie Ghostbusters. So I don't remember why we started making these original points, but I'm having fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's content worth creating is basically what it is.
Yeah, no.
That's what it was. It was do you want to be the first person? So like I did a ton of like box breaking videos on YouTube this year on the channel, and it was fun, but I got to the point where I was like, opening action. Okay, this sounds really lame.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very cathartic thing for me to buy a toy and open it and look at it and display it, that I was enjoying it less.
Oh, because you're doing it on
because
film?
It's like you're recording it and you have to kind of like put on a little bit of a show and talk about articulation. I don't care about articulation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. What is Ryan?
You're not a joint queen.
I'm not a joint queen. That's what Ryan says. And then to be like, oh, look at the ankles, and I'm like, what I want to be like is I don't care that his ankles are moving. I can give a fuck. But I know it's really important to some people, but I do enjoy the toy hunting, and I do.
Oh yeah.
That's me and more of my natural state, being able to be out there and just like react and hunt and all that stuff. So I'm going to continue doing that. But yeah, there'll be, anytime I think I'm the first person to get a toy, there's 6 other channels that have already reviewed it. Like a month ago.
Yeah.
So
Craig is
like,
a hunter, not a shower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny, like even if I wanted to be the first, I couldn't because I'm Canadian.
Yeah,
And
you're
we
not
get
allowed
everything-
to. Yeah.
Yeah, we get everything months later. Like we finally just got a wave of Black Series figures up here that have been down up, like what, that came out right after lockdown. I guess,
so you're
Craig, is that right?
6 to 8 months behind
Say it
on
again.
some of those.
Say it again.
That wave, that episode 2 wave, Kit Fisto and all those guys. Like that came out
May or
months
June.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they finally just started showing up here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
usually nothing else is really that late. Usually we're like a month behind, but for those it was weird. So that happened. So you can never be first in Canada.
Yep. You're gonna get your COVID vaccine in like 6 years.
Okay,
but-
so we'll be first in that.
Oh, right.
Right, but you still have Toys R Us though, so you got
Yeah,
that.
you do.
going
That's
for you.
true. We do, and it's great.
I mean,
get
Imagine
out
being
there.
able to go there and just being like, "Hey, look at me! I'm at Toys R Us." You
I'm
can't,
so
but
jealous.
I can.
When I drive
Yeah.
past the old Toys R Us signs, I get so. I actually become hard on myself because I'm like, you did not appreciate what you had.
I worked
Actually,
at.
I'm going to call you a liar on that one, Craig. I think you fully appreciated what you had when you had it.
I mean, me and Abby would go to Toys R Us 2 or 3 times a week. Like we would just
That's
go
what I mean.
for something to do. But I hardly ever bought anything. It's weird. I
Oh,
didn't
so
buy that much.
You are part of the problem then. Forget it.
Toys R Us was always a little bit overpriced.
Yeah, but that's what you're looking at. You're like, yeah, is it worth it overpriced to get it now, or do you want to go do the hunt? Right? I was always
Exactly.
conflicted, especially with like the answer the call merch. You're like, do I buy this now and risk not getting it later and pay more, or what?
Oh, I cleared Toys R Us out with that.
Oh yeah.
Answer the call merch. I bought it
Yeah.
all times 2.
Oh yeah, I was all over, man. Like I still have like a big stack of the stickers, the logo stickers, like just sitting in a box somewhere. I'm like, yeah,
That's one of the theories of mine. I was very uninvested in Ghostbusters when Answer the Call came out, and not because of Answer the Call, just because the last couple of years it was one of those phases where you've been through them in your life where you're just like, for a little while. I've collected that stuff for 10 years, and I have a bunch of it, and I'm still going to display it and like it, but I'm not going to do anything new with it.
Right.
And then Answer the Call came out, and I didn't do anything up. I mean, I watched the trailer online, then I went and saw it, and I liked it. And I think I liked it and like it more than other people simply because of that dip. That I had,
your
'cause I wasn't
emotional
so
investment was
invested
so
and
low.
I wasn't
Yeah.
insane about it. But It's just one of those funny things with that toy line and everything is I
Yeah.
didn't get any of those toys. So now I've been looking back like, ooh, I acquired the action figures from him because he didn't want them anymore. And I was like, ooh, I will take those.
You know what though? Those toys kind of sucked.
They did.
Like,
Well, they
I
didn't
got
have
the
the
ones that
figures.
were like, I got like the minis that came
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Remember they
I
had
don't
like
have
those
those.
Yeah, the
multi-pack
Ecto
with
minis. Yeah.
Like I ended up getting those. I don't know why. I think it's I felt like I needed to buy something, but it was like, I don't know,
thought
man.
I thought
toys-
that the main figures were pretty cool, like the main 4 that they put out.
Yeah, I
they're
like
pretty
mine.
one's looking
comparable.
this way and looking that way.
Well,
but
if you could
same face.
There were some QC issues, but like I've got them on display with my Matty collector figures, and they fit pretty well with that line.
Do you make them kiss? I would make them kiss.
I make them. I'm making
I make them
kiss.
do more than kiss.
I'm making them
Oh.
kiss. But and I thought the Build-A-Rone was pretty good. Those kids folk. It's I can't even call it a line, but the other 3 figures, the Mayhem, the Light Up Rowan, and the Light Up Stay Puff were they're kind of cheap, but
Yeah.
it's just weird to think how full circle we've come that we I mean, without being cynical about I do believe Ghostbusters was going to come out in June. I really do because I do buy into the shelf life of these movies, and I don't know. The longer you wait, the less interested people are going to be.
Yeah, people are going to say like, either you're not, you don't feel that strongly about it or what. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing was he was talking to Answer the Call. I think for me, that's one of those movies though that once you realize like Katie Dippold, the co-writer on that, was basically our age, and she grew up watching the real Ghostbusters. If you watch that as like a real Ghostbusters movie and not a Ghostbusters flick, you got a whole different like light on it. Just because the comedy style is very child oriented, a little more family friendly for me. So when I watch it through that lens, it's a little more enjoyable. But
Oh, maybe I should do that because that's what when I watch Batman and Robin now, I watch it through the lens of as if I'm watching Batman 66 with a giant budget.
Yeah, that's the same concept.
With that, that movie is so much better. Like when you think of it that way, like it's so much fun to watch. So yeah, maybe I should do that with Answer the Call because it's easy enough to do that.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, I can now actually see that.
Yeah, because the way she wrote some of the gags in there and everything else, and like I think she's very close to at least Craig's and I's age, so she grew up on the real Ghostbusters, which is why she took the writing job, I think. And so that makes more sense that she probably saw that more than she actually saw the Ghostbusters movie. So I see much more influence from the cartoon than I ever do from the first movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll always have nostalgic ties to that movie because it was the existence of that movie is why we started Yes Have Some. Because we wanted a kind of a channel to voice our try to have open-minded discussions about it. But yeah, it's just crazy to think where we are now. I mean, it's been 5 years, which is crazy. And to know that after 30 years, we're going to get the real Ghostbusters 3. And it's still kind of really shrouded in mystery. We got the trailer and we don't really know much else about it. And the fact that that's been over a year now and we're it's 5 months from today that it's supposed to come out. And COVID is COVID and it hopefully gets better, but I don't think they're going to move off that date because it is a prime date and it is the, Ghostbusters Day or Ghostbusters Week. And I also read that Wonder Woman is just doing very poorly, VOD. Like in Canada, it only made $7 million. Like it's kind of considered a big old flop. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
interesting.
Well, in Canada, we can go still do stuff, right? So why would we?
Right. But anyways,
think-
long story short, I just think that it's an exciting time to be a Ghostbusters fan for sure. I still have those butterflies and those what ifs and those.
Oh yeah,
my mind's always wondering, trying to figure out what this thing's going to be.
We had a week or two ago. What was that? We had a screening with our local Ghostbusters.
Yeah, we have a
group.
local theater here that's like locally owned, and we took everyone out, and 2 different nights we rented the theater and did Ghostbusters 2 showing on the big screen, 4K.
Oh, that's cool.
Because usually when they replay the movies, it's always the first one. I always kind of wish the theaters would do a re-release showing of Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that in theater since being a kid. I'm like, Ghostbusters I've seen on the big screen so many times now. I'm just like,
right. One time we went to a screening of Ghostbusters locally, and it was like at some small locally owned theater. It was just the 1999 DVD, and I knew that's what the transfer was because we got there and it was the
DVD menu.
the menu with Stay Puft.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, at least play the commentary where they did like the Mystery Science Theater commentary with Harold Ramis and Ivan
Right.
Reitman.
Fun fact, that was actually the first DVD I ever bought was Ghostbusters on DVD because, they touted all the special features for it. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I don't normally want to drop this much on something, but I'll do that. So
American Pie was my first DVD.
I think mine was Wild Things.
Wild Things. My family.
we know where you're going. Ryan was horny back then.
we got a DVD player in 1999 for Christmas, and each member of my family got a movie. So I got American Pie, and my mom got Pretty Woman, and then my stepdad got Saving Private Ryan, and my brother got The Outsiders.
We had something similar to that, and I got Wild Wild West. So.
Oh, dude!
Wild Wild West.
That movie needs to make a like. Where's the sequel?
We're about
the
to
legacy sequel to that.
Cover it soon here because I keep trying to be like, hey guys, we should cover Wild Wild West, and they're like, no, that's awful, and I'm
Jim
like,
West,
but that's why
Desperado.
it's good.
Yes, it's so good. It's so
I remember
fun.
the song when he says, "Who you gonna call? Not the GBs," and I was like, "Whoa, sick reference!" Will
Shots
Smith
fired.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna do the new one. He's probably gonna be in Ghostbusters 3. Let's face it.
I hope he does the song for it.
I hope he does the song for The Matrix. Oh, too soon?
Hey, but he's in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we all know how that one went over.
Sure is. He's in that, all right. Anyway, appreciate you guys coming on. I guess we can get off here because we're just kind of rambling now.
No, this was fun. I'm excited. I bought that vinyl, and I will be on eBay tonight scrolling, looking for figures. I at least want to get the Dash Rendar figure, and I like the Luke and like the Imperial disguise.
Yeah,
that's fine as long as you don't buy anything that I have in my watch list. That's cool.
Yeah,
just let me know because I've been buying. I would not want to look at how much money I've spent on toys last year. It was insane. Neither. It was the only thing to do. There was nothing to do except for buy toys. So
yeah, and then they're stimulating us with the economy, and you're like, toys. All right,
my stimulus check.
Yeah,
Just put it in my Amazon account.
Yeah,
just put it in my Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah.
No, I did ask. I was wondering if there's a way I can get the stimulus check forwarded to Sideshow. I got a couple Hot Toys payment plans. I got Mando and the Child coming.
Oh, nice. That'll be awesome.
And my new fixation over the last couple of months has been Star Wars autographs. So that's
we've noticed.
Yeah, we've noticed that when you opened you had the money shot card and you basically like blacked out.
It was, I don't remember that moment happening, but I know it happened because
there's
I
evidence.
watched the video. There's evidence, but that was literally the best moment of my life.
I think it was
great.
Yeah, that's the closest thing I've ever seen to an out-of-body experience, like caught on film. Like, if there's a chance that there's ghosts, I think we saw that the spirit of Harrison Ford came out and touched you, and then you woke back up to reality.
And he said, "I want my family back."
Right. I didn't kill my wife. I love Han Solo. Like, it's just the greatest character of all time, and Harrison Ford's he's the best. And also, there's that little thing. Knowing that how Harrison Ford kind of feels about Star Wars, and knowing that while he's signing those cards, he's probably like
grumpy old man.
What
am I doing here?
And also, he only for the entire set. There's only I think 7 signed Harrison or Han Solo cards in that whole set. So there's the 5 silver framed ones, and then there's 1 gold framed one, and then there's 1 other one. So I definitely felt like I hit the lottery. But I don't know. I love it. Love Star Wars.
Awesome.
I love Harrison Ford.
He's the
I
best.
love grumpy Harrison Ford.
I love how much he likes Indiana Jones more than Star Wars, which I don't.
And it's the same thing.
Yes, it's the exact opposite for most of us.
He smashed one of Conan's writers' Lego Millennium Falcon on stage one time.
I love that.
I love it when he does stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's great.
But you know what? And I'll keep rambling. But I loved when Force Awakens was coming out and how much it almost felt like it hit him. Like, hey, this is important. People love it. And to see the way he talked about getting back together, working with Peter Mayhew and stuff, I think that was really special.
Yeah, I get
or even when
vibes.
he talks about Carrie, I really like that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you're getting the same vibes like Bill Murray for Afterlife, right? You're getting that nostalgic feel where they're for so long they wanted to disassociate themselves from something that was so magical to them that now they're at a point where they can truly appreciate what it is with the passage of time.
I don't think any of us are ready to see
Oh.
these guys.
No.
on
No, I
screen
mean,
again.
When you see Ernie Hudson say that, like, he got emotional on set just seeing them, you're like, the hell are we going to do?
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to be on camera for my first viewing
Oh,
of
I am gonna need
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Tissues for
No.
both reasons that you need tissues when I see that.
I'm probably gonna shit my pants.
I mean, I don't know, when I first saw, when I watched the Afterlife trailer, I was like, all right, here we go. My heart's like pounding. And it was probably 10 seconds in, I lost it, because it's the part of it's you're seeing something you never thought you would see. So there's like that surreal, like out of body type of thing. But then like you're putting the pieces together in your head, like they did it. They finally did this thing that I've been like hoping and wishing for. And I had an emotional reaction to Answer the Call the first time I saw it. So this is going to be another level, unless it sucks. Wouldn't that be the most the ironic thing ever? Like, wow, 30 years.
Wow, I sure miss Answer the Call all of a sudden.
Oh, God. Could you imagine that? Let's not curse Jason Reitman yet. I mean, he's made a lot of good movies, so.
Oh,
no, he's a badass.
I don't want to kick him at all.
We're just taking the piss out of it. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna nail it.
I think he's got that swagger. I think he knows he nailed it, and I do have this feeling that they were trying so hard, and finally he just stepped in and was like, "Dad, I'll just do it."
I think he's probably like, look, I got an idea that'll work. I worked with you on the original stuff. Like, he's got that inside path to greatness. I think that we're all been waiting for.
Well, we'll have to do this again.
Son.
Yeah.
And like we said, like last week we covered Men in Black, and we were just talking like, if you go back and watch Men in Black, that's what Ghostbusters 3 would have been in the 90s. Like all the effects, like all the slime shots, all the
the combination
bugs,
of
like everything there. So like, if you would have been really happy with that versus where we're at now.
Oh, we dodged a bullet by not getting Ghostbusters.
Oh, yes, we did.
Screw that. I would love to see Chris Farley with a proton pack.
Well, I mean,
he'd have had been a ghost because he OD'd. Oh shit.
Oh, again. When did he? No, wait. When did he OD?
He died in like 98, 99.
98, 99. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could have still got one like 96. We could have got Adam Sandler, Chris Rock,
David Spade.
I would still take David Spade. I would take David Spade as a Ghostbuster.
That's what I'm saying. If you have Chris Farley, I would love to just see David Spade in there with him because they work so well together.
Yeah.
I wish I would have also gotten another movie that starred Steve Martin and John Candy together, but one's enough too.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, John Candy.
I was so
legend.
I'll end on this, or I won't. You guys talk. But
you're stuck here.
Steve Martin, Father of the Bride 1 and 2 are two of my favorite movies of all time. And when they did that Father of the Bride reunion this year, I was so annoyed because I was like, no, it needs to be a movie. Don't give me this damn Zoom shit. I can do Zoom.
Yeah, that's what we felt when we watched the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion. We're like, why didn't you just do an episode?
I felt the same with the Parks and Rec thing they did. I was just like,
see, I think Parks and Rec will probably come back at some point. That to me feels like they can bring that back and it would be fairly seamless.
Yeah.
The Fresh Prince thing was like, you got the set. At least do a couple scenes.
Right.
Yeah, at least do the intro or just do 5 minutes worth of a skit or something. But
just do a movie. They should just do a Fresh Prince movie.
Yeah. I want a Family Matters reunion too. I want it all. I don't want anything new. Bring all my old shit back. It's usually not good when they do that.
Okay, so before we end here, we have to talk about Family Matters. If they were going to do a movie, would you have it so that we see like Urkel's basement still and he still has that like transformation machine?
No. You have to retcon like the last 5 seasons of Family Matters.
That's a lot of work.
You're just taking out Urkel completely, basically.
No, we don't need Stefan.
We
don't need time travel. We don't need a transport. Family Matters became Star Trek by the end.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It got really weird. I remember it getting like super weird.
It got really bad is what you're saying.
Yeah, that too. But it'd be kind of cool. They could cross over with like Fuller House and Elf. It'd be great.
I have to ask one last question. How much are these 2-packs? These Shadows of the Empire 2-packs. What should I not pay more than $30 for these?
I would say you could probably get them for $20.
Okay.
Yeah, with or without the free shipping is like the big piece for me because
most of these, like each figure in box, you could probably get for less than $10 easily. I mean,
I'm gonna go to my local shop first because I know they got some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
what I've
always
noticed
do.
with eBay in like the last, I don't know, the last year really is that in order to get more money out of stuff, people are just charging more for shipping and not doing
Yep.
free shipping instead
Yeah.
of paying the eBay percentage. So like it's more and more so than it used to be. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
so used to free shipping now. I'm offended. I'm like, you want $10 to ship that?
Right.
And you're like, well, that's really not that bad, but I
No,
just
'cause
stop
I've
at
been-
it every
the-
time.
Yeah, I mean, I got screwed a couple times. Like shipping has gone so far up. Like I don't like if you have to ship priority to the West Coast, like
Oh
if it's
yeah.
a box bigger than like a normal action figure. Like, anyways, this
Yeah.
is where we've gotten to. At the
Yes.
end, they talked about the mail for 20 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
the
The
price.
mail is important.
Well, really appreciate your time, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Appreciate your expertise, and thanks for the inspiration. Obviously, we wouldn't have started this show without all the work YHS has done, and the cross trip too. We'll shout out those fellas as well. But I know
Yeah.
Ryan, you're the kindred spirit that crosses the bridges amongst the Canadians to the Americans. Toy
You
Ghost
really are.
experts. You got a lot.
I am the nucleus. I connect. I
You're like the
connect
wandering
things.
man.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate it, guys, and I think it's amazing that you're doing what you're doing. And like what I always tell people is like, if you have a podcast that goes longer than like 4 episodes, you've done more than most, Calgary-based podcasts ever will. So
Oh man, are we gonna go there for the last minute?
We're about 3 months away from a year, so we don't feel
Yeah.
too bad.
that's amazing. No, that's amazing. Like I think like it's such hard work. And just being able to sit here and just shoot the shit and have fun and make it fun and entertaining, like it's awesome. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that you guys are doing
The next
it.
time we all get together, we should let people join us if they donate, and then we'll put them in a raffle, and they can have pizza with us, and
Stop it. There's no pizza donation. No, but seriously, I think it's great. And like
We
congratulations on almost hitting a year. That's awesome.
the next one should be a collaboration mukbang, because mukbang's all about it on some YouTube. So we'll eat pizza. And you just got to eat really sloppy ass pizza. Maybe dip it in a bunch of ranch or whatever your thing is of choice. You get really sloppy.
Sloppy
ASMR,
ranch.
turn up the mic.
You're thinking of choice. Just macaroni and cheese.
Hey,
just dip your pizza in there.
those YouTube views don't lie.
They don't.
That's true.
Oh, it's crazy. It's
I'm
absolutely.
gonna start a
crazy.
mukbang channel now.
All right, guys. Well, take care. We'll see you soon.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you,
We'll
guys.
see you soon.
Have a
All
good one. Bye.
Peace.